Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. It's Wednesday, midweek Wednesday. Hope you're having a great week so far. We have a lot to get to today, but a lot of different projects. Still on my screwdriver kick. Been very busy over the last week. I was even busy on Easter doing work down here. I'm just having a great time in the shop. So let's get started right away. What do you say? Okay, to start off, I've been on kind of a screwdriver kick, right? It started with my sister finding this screwdriver to be attractive. I said, you know what? And then I felt like making some. So, I've made this guy. And then I started restoring some old ones. And you remember we did this one here. This one here we just did not too long ago. Well, I found a smaller version. Look at that. I've never seen a smaller version of this guy. I've always seen the bigger ones, but look at this. So this would be a nice one. Maybe we can knock this one out today. And then obviously we did the most fantastic screwdriver ever made. The Crescent T-handle screwdriver. But, I always tell you I have, projects waiting in the wings. This is the smaller size of that same screwdriver. And you can see here, this one needs a lot of help, but nothing that can't be fixed, right? So we have that as a future project. And then, I've been busy. I wanted to make golf ball screwdrivers out of this guy. So I started off with the prototype, right? This one here. But then I started refining it. Now, every time I make another screwdriver, I make it at a slightly different shape, because I put it in my hand and I say, something, I think this should just be a little bit more photo. You know how it is. So you got to work that prototype down. And then it comes to aesthetics, so then we start going with different colors, like I bought a bunch of different colored golf balls, and this one here is the yellow with the orange, right? And then I did one on Easter. I did this guy. And this is it was a beach ball golf ball. It looks like a beach ball. And then I turned the base here. Pretty interesting, huh? And again, in the hand. And this is right there, right? I'm so close to getting the perfect. But you see, it takes a while to get it right. And, I can make them out of wood and anything, but I like the durability of the golf ball. And you can get golf balls that have your logo on it. How cool would that be, right? And then, what kind of this do you want? It takes a while to do the metal down here. It's easier when you do an acrylic, but that still takes time. But anyway, so that's where we're at today. So what do you think of the beach ball screwdriver? That's pretty cool looking, huh? Pretty colorful, whimsical. So we'll get on to doing a screwdriver later. Probably a cleanup on this guy here or something, because I did the other one. Now, remember also last week we talked about this one, and I apologize because by the time a lot of you guys checked this out, it was already gone, as I knew it would be. But the funny thing is, when I was looking to get the link for this, it came up with this is called Monster and Master on Amazon. So if you key those words in, Monster and Master, in the search box, they come up with a whole different line they have. So again, they must have been having a blow up. When I see 60% off, 70% off, and it's, I pick it up. So let me show you again, not being a tool snob and liking the cheap tools when they come available and they're decent. Let me show you what else I picked up from this company. Now, again, these, I don't usually buy inexpensive tools, but again, these were 2 for $10.40, shipped to the house, 2 for $10. How am I going to pass? I got to give it a shot. I said, you never know when this might come in handy. Now, I prefer, we were talking about oil filter wrenches. I prefer an oil filter wrench that's kind of made for the specific filter that slips on the cap or whatever. But in a pinch, if you have something that you can see, this is laminated steel. If you have something that you have to get and that falls within this parameter that, you don't care about tearing up because of the teeth. I wouldn't like these as a typical oil filter wrench, but you never know. Sometimes it might be damaged or something and you might need it. So I gave that a shot. They're pretty decent. They don't have a wide, the one thing I'm not crazy about, they don't have a tremendously wide parameters that they go from. So I guess this would be about as wide as they go. So you can see here, it's a little bit more than a finger. And then it would close down all the way to there, you know, so about an inch. So that's the parameter. So anyway, again, $10 for two. I try them out, you know, they're in decent quality. I bought them. Next up were these. Again, $10 for two. Now, you see here that CRV, that's supposed to be chrome vanadium. Fuck. When it comes from China, you don't know what you're getting. You take a chance. And you look at the grind. My buddy Joe bought the same set afterwards, this guy that turned us on to these. And look at the grind on here, you know. He was saying it's definitely a Friday 5 p.m. grind, you know. But at least it's somewhat ground. But here it is. You could see here how this operates. You know what this is good for? One of these long reach vice grips are good if you have to heat treat something. You know, you grab whatever you're heat treating, because you don't have to worry about, you know, killing this. Again, this is a $5 tool, but you would take this and you could put it near the torch or whatever you have to, and by the time the heat travels down, you know, it should be red. So that's what it's good for. Anyway, two of those, $10. Okay, the last thing I picked up, again from the same company, Monster and Master, was these vice grips. Now, again, I'm a vice grip guy, you know, the original one, the USA made ones, but I think these were like 2 for $7. How can they do this? How can you make and sell this thing for $3.50 shipped to my house? I can't fathom it. So, all right, I'll play the game, and check this out. It's really comfortable. I'm not big on grips on tools because, you know, these things usually look like hell after a while and get tore up. But how can you beat that? And it's, you know, the fit, the finish on here, the rivets they use, the spring, it's all decent stuff. I mean, if you had to clamp something up that you're just going to leave, but at the jaws, I know that the big complaint with a lot of the vice grips that aren't the old USA ones, even the new vice grips that are Irwin, is the jaws. The stuff they used to make the jaws out of years ago was like bulletproof, where that's the first thing you'll notice that start to go. But come on, for $3.50, you use them a couple times, or you leave them at the site. How can you beat it? How can they do it? I don't know. So my point is, go on Amazon, look under deals, and a lot of times, I don't know what it is, if they're clearing out the warehouse, they sell this stuff at, you can't tell me that's not at cost. You know, I can't believe they can make it for less than they're selling it. So anyway, a little show and tell today. This is a vintage Rake. And this one here, what I thought was interesting is that you can see here, it's probably Asian made. It's called Mac Pack. Okay, bought this at a flea market. It was old when I got it, and it was $3. Here we go. Made in Taiwan. And you know I'm a big fan of Taiwan stuff, but this is made in Taiwan. That's an old-timey sticker. You don't see those type really anymore. But I was looking at this, and I was just fascinated by it because it's made from, you know, I like to watch those videos, those Pakistani and Indian videos where these guys they're making all kinds of pressure cookers and everything. They all got dirt floors, and they got these old vintage American lathes and machinery but they're popping this stuff out and they're selling it around the world. And, you know, God bless them. They're working. These are hardworking guys. So I found this and I said, look at this. This is made from bamboo. And, you know, anybody who knows bamboo, it's such a fantastic resource. And I'm surprised we don't use more of it here in the States. But you could see they heat bended because you could see the heat marks, right? You see the black? That's the heat bend here. So once that's bent in, and bamboo is very strong, very resourceful. So they stripped down a piece of bamboo, and this is all made from bamboo except for like 5 or 6 parts. You know, you got the little ring here around the back. This is where the handle would slip into. This would lift up, the handle would go in there, and then one nail would hold the handle on, and that was it. And it's a very lightweight, and then it's got this piece of metal here that holds some wire that keeps them spread apart, and the same thing here. So fascinating build. You know, I know it's kind of primitive looking, but I remember my grandmother having one of these that it lasted a long time, as long as you don't beat on it. Bamboo really does hold up you know, with the, even with the, as long as you don't leave it outside in the elements and things like that, and you put it in the garage, these things will last for a long time. For a $3 rake, right? But I just thought it was interesting. This is something that you won't see years from now because everything's going to be plastic. Next up, I was a couple of years ago. I was at the Dollar. I used to buy my UL light bulbs, the LED light bulbs at the Dollar Tree, and I saw this manual color changing LED nightlight. Okay, and I said, boy, that's interesting, you know. So I picked it up. I didn't, you know, you couldn't see how it worked, but I picked it up. It was, this is made in China, interestingly enough. But here, it's got, these are the, kind of almost like a UL, but it's kind of a knockoff. I thought in Canada they use something like that, but here it says US. I don't know. But what it is, it's it changes light. It's $1. I said this would be interesting, so I bought a couple. And I'm going to show you what this looks like because it's pretty interesting. Let me show you. Okay, so here it is out of the packaging. You can see it's a small LED in there, but it throws off, you know, surprisingly good light. It's got an on-off switch. We'll click it on, and you can see here it's going through the red, the green, and it takes about three seconds at each color. Goes to a purple, and you can see this, I guess, because I could see it through the camera. Maybe to a yellowish, but at night with this fluted lens in here, it really is, it's a nice, attractive light. So I'm going to bring a couple of these to Jacktown as giveaways because I think I think if you don't have them by you, but they're really cool. I'll show you what this looks like with the lights off. It's a really interesting looking light. My girlfriend has one in her kitchen, and it's just, she leaves it on all the time. And it's just it's very pleasing. So that'll be, I'll have that at Jacktown. A couple of these to give away, and that's coming up very soon. Okay, let's get to this little guy first. You can see here there's a lot of, like, somebody was using what looked like, see there, the teeth mark? I don't know what, somebody was gripping this with a pliers or something. There's teeth marks on the inside. Kind of chowed up the outside. The head, nobody was banging on it, but they did try to regrind the tip. And I guess to get to a screw, but again, a lot of people that regrind it, they make the tip pointy. Maybe it was a smaller screw. It doesn't matter. We'll fix it up because, and you can see here it says Detroit, WS Morse. And again, it's got the, there you go, the telltale diamond with the H. And we'll get these edges nice and make it a nice feeling screw. I mean, as well as it can be. Let's get to this. Now, you know my favorite part. Remember what this screwdriver looked like before we started? And we're calling this project done. Now you can see this is just the type of sheen that we want on here. This looks very much like Japanning, which is what they put in this screwdriver originally. There was some left over. Let's take a look at how it looks here. We have the, we did up the back nice, polished all the edges here. Again, the shaft is straightened out. The tip is back to what it should look like originally. Detroit, WS Morse, and again the finish here. Now this is one of those finishes, again, you put it in thick, heavy, and then you just give it a little bit of going over with the steel wool. And the reason that the Quado steel wool, you could take off as much finish as you want just by going in there and then just using actually your hand oil, rubbing back and forth. And this will give it that worn look, you know, eventually. This is what I believe it looked like when it was new. It had that kind of a look to it. So we're back to that. And I'm pleased with the way this came out. This one's in the can. So in closing, we were all over the place today. It's a little bit of a mosh, midweek mosh. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy it. Take care now. See you again on Friday. Bye-bye.